Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Whitney Lloyd, and I'm so excited that you're joining us tonight. I have my good friend Shayla on here, and I'm going to introduce her in just a minute. But I wanted to let you know that we are going to have our chat open. So as we are talking and sharing resources, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat, and we will answer those as we have time on the call tonight. But we're also going to be compiling a PDF at the end of the call so that we can send this information out to you so you will have the resources in the future. So we would love for you to also put your email address in the chat, and that way we can email you the PDF if you would like. So feel free to put your email address and any questions that you have so that we can make sure that you get all the information from this call when it is over. So, and we're really looking forward to hopefully being able to go into more detail on all these different topics in the future, but we wanted to just start tonight with a big overview and just introducing ourselves. And then as the weeks go on, we hope to be able to do more of these and offer more to each of you guys. So my name is Whitney Lloyd, like I said, and I live here in Columbia, South Carolina. I am a wife to my amazing husband for almost 16 years. I am a mom. I have 4 kids. Bella is 10, Jackson is 8, Tucker is 5, and Charlotte is 3. And I am a homeschool mom, so our life is very, very full, but we have a lot of fun. And pregnancy, well, I'll back up. Before pregnancy, we struggled to get pregnant. So infertility as well as pregnancy and postpartum, postnatal. And like Shayla will share with you guys, once you're postpartum, you're always postpartum. So all of the different seasons of motherhood are very close to my heart. And I am just really, really thrilled and honored to get to share bits and pieces of my journey and what has helped not only me as a woman, but also as a mom. And now as I'm raising my own kids, just what's helped our family with our health. And I just hope tonight, first and foremost, that you guys are encouraged wherever you are on your journey. And I hope that you are inspired. And just know that you're supported and that you're seen. I know in the different seasons and walks of life, a lot of times you may feel alone or you may have questions and just not understanding everything. So just know that we're here to support you and be a resource for you in any way that we can. And we are going to start off with my good friend Shayla. And Shayla and I have known each other for a long, long time. She was actually in our student ministry. My husband is in ministry here in Columbia, but before we lived here, we were in Florida, Pensacola, for 8 years. And so Shayla, I've known her since she was, I think, in 6th grade. And it's been such a blessing to get to see her grow and just her passions and all that she loves to do to serve others develop. And so she is a mom to her sweet little Everett, who's now 7 months. She is a personal trainer. She has experience being a doula and in all areas of fitness, CrossFit, yoga, and y'all are just gonna love getting to know her. But she has a big heart for prenatal and postnatal women, and she is a restorative exercise specialist. And so she is just going to start our call tonight, and she's going to be sharing a wealth of information for us. And I hope y'all are encouraged. You might want to take some notes, but again, put your email address in, and any resources that she shares, we will be happy to pass those along to you. So Shayla, take it away.
Yay, I'm so excited. And just so y'all know, if you put your email in the chat box, you aren't like subscribing to anything. I legitimately, with my Gmail, will just be like sending it to everyone. So that way you're not like afraid to put your email. But as Whitney said, my name is Shayla, and I have been married for a little over 3.5 years. And Everett Nash is our first child. And we had him in October of last year. And it is a whole new world being a mom, but we are loving it. And back in 2013, just to give you a little bit of history, back in 2013 is when I really became serious about exercise. And that is when I started with CrossFit and did that for many years. And then in 2017, when I was changing jobs, I decided the Lord gave me the opportunity to pursue my passions in fitness and nutrition. And I was able to get my CrossFit Level 1 certification, and then went on to get my certified personal trainer and my specialize in prenatal and postpartum. Because in that period too, I also certified as a doula, because I knew pregnancy, postpartum, I really loved working with those type of women. And so I had experienced doulaing for a while. But then I decided I really loved the fitness side of it and really helping them build the strength in their body for birth, and then helping them after the birth rebuild their bodies. And so that's my niche right there. But I just want to start out by kind of reading some statements. And for many of you, these will probably sound familiar from what other people have said, or maybe what you have said in your life regarding whether you're trying to conceive, or whether you're pregnant now, or you're postpartum, or you've had many babies and you're years postpartum, you postpartum forever. But 85% of women will have a baby at some point in their life. So just want you to kind of, if you have your camera on, you can just kind of nod your head if you've ever heard these statements before. But some of the things people say, especially after you have the baby, is take it easy, but don't be too lazy. Get comfortable in your new role, but don't get too comfortable with the extra weight you may have. Don't worry about the house. Sleep when the baby sleeps, or as I like to say, do laundry when the baby does laundry. Diet to get the extra pounds off, but wait, breastfeeding will help you lose all that weight. Actually, exercise is what you need to do as well, but you need to start slow. But you also need to go hard enough to burn the extra calories. Just do it all. Keep your house clean while you're at it. Just do everything. Your body has done something miraculous. You've had a baby. Now, this is a little tongue-in-cheek here, but now punish it into submission so that it looks like such a miracle never happened. And then some other things people might have said, or you might have even said, I want to fit into my pre-baby clothes. I want to look like I did before I had kids. I want to lose that baby weight. I want to burn the flab, get rid of the mom pooch or pouch, mommy tummy as they call it. I want to feel like myself again. And the big thing with all of these statements is that the message is consistent, that you must fix your postpartum body. And surprise, that fixing it means you have to shrink it. My hope is you leave encouraged knowing what the world is saying is not right. And I'm here to tell you that the world is wrong. And your body is made unique. The way you gain weight during pregnancy, the way your bones shift during pregnancy, that is unique to each person. The way that weight comes off after pregnancy during postpartum, the way your bones may or may not shift back into place. All of that is unique to you, and each and every person is going to experience that differently. And so it's so easy to get caught up in the comparison trap of, wow, she lost all that weight so quickly after the baby, or, oh, wow, she didn't even gain any weight during pregnancy, or whatever that comparison trap may be. Know that the Lord made your body unique, and you have to fight against those lies, because they're going to come at you. The media, there's all these programs about abs after baby. And a lot of women say, I want to get my abs back. And again, I reply, well, where did they go to begin with? You still have those abs. They're still there. They didn't go anywhere. And so I just want you to leave encouraged knowing that your body is unique. And so with that, I just also want you to know that just because I have all of these certifications, I am not perfect. I had my son 8 months ago. It takes your body as a woman 9 months to grow this baby inside of you. It takes you 9 months to gain the weight you need in order to carry that weight. It's going to take you 9 months or longer to be able for your body to heal properly. And I don't want to say, ever say in this that you're going to get your body back, Because the truth is, when you have a baby, your body has changed. And it's a mentality of knowing that that's beautiful and it's okay. It's okay that your body is different than it was before you had babies. So don't punish yourself if your body doesn't look the same before you had babies, because it's not meant to. We're meant to change. Our bodies are meant to change in that way. So I am not perfect. My body does not look like it did before I had babies. Also, I may say some words in here that may make people uncomfortable, but it's my job. So as a prenatal and postpartum coach, so I have to say some words. But like, I don't have 6-pack abs. I don't have those. I still have cottage cheese thighs. If any of you know what that what that is, or like dimples in the thighs, I breastfed. So, breasts definitely changed after that. They didn't bounce back. But I don't have the perfect body, but I can be confident in talking to y'all about this, because not just because of the education I have, but because of the struggles I went through as well, being a certified personal trainer, and then also having to live with that through pregnancy and weight gain and the postpartum aftermath. So no, you are not alone in this. And if you have ever felt alone in your history, whether you're 10 years out, 15 years out, a year out, less than a year out, you're about to have a baby, reach out to someone. Be encouraged that motherhood needs to be done together. And if we want to set goals for feeling healthier and feeling like ourselves again after having a baby, we need other people. And that kind of leads me into what I teach my clients when it comes to fitness and nutrition, is setting behavior-based goals, not outcome-based goals. Outcome-based goals would be, I need to lose 10 pounds in, I'm going to say a ridiculous amount of time, 6 weeks. But that is an outcome-based goal. What we're wanting to do with our prenatal and postpartum clients, and even women in general and men, is starting a healthy foundation. Goals are great, but if we aren't giving ourselves a healthy foundation first, we are not going to be able to continue that long term. And so setting a behavior-based goal means something that's going to help you change your behavior long term. Small changes now make the most long-lasting difference later. So small change could be eating vegetables at 2 meals a day. Name however many weeks you want to do it. Or it could be making sure you're getting a full serving of protein at every meal. Or it could be just trying to exercise at least once a week, once you're cleared for exercise after postpartum, or doing stretching or yoga, something gentle. So setting those kind of behavior-based goals. And when you do that, it makes it so much easier to be able to uphold yourself to that and stay motivated to do it and stay disciplined. So that's a big thing that I do with my clients. And when it specifically comes to fitness, one of the biggest things that I teach about is the pelvic floor. So I don't know, that's a hot topic word right now, pelvic floor and diastasis, and I'm going to touch on both of those. But the pelvic floor is part of your inner core unit. That's what I call it, your inner core unit. And it's supposed to work together with your core. So I'm just going to read some other, it's like a checklist for your pelvic floor health. And you may nod to some of these. You may not feel any of these yet, but you may notice them later in life. And you'll hopefully be able to remember tonight and be able to think, oh, I know what this is causing. So some of the questions that I would ask are, do you accidentally leak urine when you exercise, play sports, laugh, cough, or sneeze? Do you need to get to the toilet in a hurry, and do you sometimes not make it there in time? Do you constantly need to go to the toilet? Do you find it difficult to empty your bladder or your bowels at any point in time? Do you accidentally lose control of those, your bowels, or accidentally pass wind? Do you have prolapse? So prolapse is a big thing for women, which is a bulge or a heavy feeling, discomfort, pulling, dragging, or a dropping type feeling in your vagina? Or do you experience pelvic pain or pain during or after sex? And then do you experience constipation or regularly strain on the toilet? So if you jump after baby, you leak a little pee, or if you're running and you pee a little, that is urinary incontinence. And usually that is tracked back to your pelvic health. And that is so important because that's what helps keep all of your organs in the right place. So we are going to go through, I'm going to try and go through this really briefly. You're going to feel like you're drinking through a fire hose, but that's why it'll be really important for you to put your email in the chat box and make sure it's set to all so that I get it. And I can email you more deeper, or email you videos that have a deeper explanation of all of this. So I just want to talk about the core first. I'm gonna incorporate the pelvic floor back into this, but with your core, I'm gonna show this video, this picture. I don't know if you can see it, but this is your core right here. So you can see you have like your external obliques. Then this is your rectus abdominis, which is like the 6-pack or 8-pack abs that everyone wants. In the middle between them is a connective tissue called the linea alba. And then if you were to peel back your external and your internal obliques, and then if you were to peel back your rectus abdominis, then you would find the transverse abdominis. And that's really where I'm going to park it, is talking about that. I'm going to call it the TVA. So your TVA is the deepest part of your abdominal muscles. And your TVA, I'm going to use my hands here, are in front of your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is when you take a deep breath in and you inhale all that breath and you exhale. Your diaphragm is what helps you breathe. Or if you're a singer, you know you have to sing from your diaphragm. And then you have your pelvic floor underneath. And all three of those work as like a piston contraction. So like something that works together in unison, because that's the way the Lord made our bodies. And with your diaphragm, I'm going to take a second, and I just want y'all to take a deep breath in, just in through your nose. So take a deep breath in, and then a deep breath out, or release that breath. And notice where you breathe. Did you breathe into your chest and your shoulders, or did you breathe deep into your belly? So take another, what we want to do is get your breath moving. I'm going to show my belly here. You want to get your breath moving right here. So when you take a deep breath in, my diaphragm, my belly is expanding. And then when I release that breath, that's what's contracting inward. So when we start practicing that, we're going to add a little bit more movement to that in a little bit. So I just wanted to explain diaphragmatic breathing first, because what I'm teaching you is called a core belly pump. And this is like the gold when it comes to prenatal and postpartum. Because what we're going to do is I'm also going back to that pelvic floor. So your pelvic floor is right here at the bottom. It's what holds all of your organs up inside. It's what helps you not pee. It's what helps you have a baby. And in that, you're going to, if you've ever heard of Kegels, that's when you tighten that pelvic floor and you relax that pelvic floor. If you've never heard of Kegels, it's when, if you were to go to the restroom, use the restroom, and you were peeing and you were to stop the flow of urine, that is a Kegel. That sensation, that squeezing shut, is a Kegel. Because what we're wanting to do here in general is get everything working in unison. And when everything is working in unison, that pelvic floor is healing, because what usually happens during pregnancy and childbirth, that pelvic floor isn't like a trampoline anymore where it just kind of bounces back. It's more like a piece of cloth. It just could kind of break. And so we're trying to get everything working in unison. So here's what it looks like. It's a lot easier to show this when I'm pregnant, which I will include a video when I'm pregnant doing this in that PDF, so that you can kind of see what it looks like during pregnancy, and that will be easier postpartum to know how to do this. But what you're wanting to do is when you inhale with that big diaphragmatic breath, you are relaxing. So when you inhale, you relax that pelvic floor. Almost like, now, if you have urinary incontinence right now, you may want to go to the restroom first because you might pee a little. But when I'm inhaling, So I'm gonna move this down a little so you can see me. I'm inhaling down. My stomach is coming out because I've pulled all the breath into my diaphragm here. And I'm relaxing my pelvic floor down here. So when I'm exhaling, you'll notice, I'll probably pull my shirt up a little for this, my breath, I'm squeezing from the bottom up toward my rib cage. So I'm gonna do full breath for you, and I'm squeezing. So when I exhale, that's when I tighten the pelvic floor. So inhale, I relax. Exhale, I tighten that pelvic floor. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So if you notice, I'm gonna come a little closer. I'm gonna do 2 more breaths. So inhale, exhale. It starts here. And if you have had a C-section before, chances of you losing feeling in your lower abdominals is very high. This movement right here can help bring feeling back into those lower abdominal muscles because there's a lot of scar tissue there. So your mind isn't connected to it a lot of times. So consciously tightening that pelvic floor and your lower abdominals to release that breath is going to make that mind-body connection to get you feeling those lower abdominals. Even if you haven't had a C-section before, even if you've just had a baby, your chances of you losing that feeling right there is very high because that's where the baby sits. It's right there in that pelvis. And so the core belly pump, that's what it's called, is the inhaling, relaxing that pelvic floor. And when you're doing that, you're also relaxing your TVA, which I talked about, that inner core unit. And then when you're exhaling, you're tightening everything up. So inhaling, relaxing, exhaling, tightening. That is the biggest thing. And that's a lot of information in like 10 minutes. But I'm going to move on really quick just to talk about diastasis. That is also a very hot topic right now. Diastasis is the separation of abdominal muscles. And I'm going to show a picture here of it. Here we go. So here's a picture. This is of someone's typical abdominal muscle. The blue part is the linea alba that I talked about. This over here is what happens during pregnancy. 100% of women have a slight separation of your abdominals during pregnancy. Most women still have it postpartum, immediately postpartum. And then a lower amount of women have a significant gap farther outside of pregnancy. Usually, most diastasis recti heals within 6 months postpartum. However, in harder cases, it doesn't, and you have to see a pelvic floor therapist, or you have to see someone that specializes in diastasis to be able to help heal that. But what diastasis is during pregnancy, as your belly and your abdominals are stretching, that linea alba, that tissue that goes down the middle of your belly, that also stretches. And typically what happens is if you are moving improperly during pregnancy, or you're moving improperly after having the baby, that can stretch even more, which will separate your abdominal muscles even more. And if like sitting up immediately postpartum, if you're just like straight up sitting up, that can help, that can lead to the stretching of that linea alba even more. Or if you've ever been pregnant and you've been laying on the ground and you've seen doming, it kind of looks like this, either during pregnancy or even postpartum, that is also a sign of diastasis. So doming, or they call it the mommy pooch, where it's like loose, they feel like it's just loose fat at the bottom of their belly, their lower abdominals. Most cases, that is actually diastasis recti because of that stretching of the abdominal muscles. The core belly pump that I just talked about is what I use with my clients, and one of the biggest things that helps heal diastasis, because you are working that linea alba and that transverse abdominis with your pelvic floor and your diaphragm to tighten and use all of your core muscles in unison. So doing that core belly pump, that breathing and that pelvic floor tightening is really what helps strengthen your linea alba so you don't have as much separation. Now, if you have a very large gap between your abdominal muscles, I'll also put in the PDF a video of how to check for diastasis in case you've never heard of it or you've never checked yourself before to see if you have it. But if you have a wide gap, that may be something you need to go seek medical advice on and then get their point of view from there. So that was like a fire hydrant. I'm going to move on to nutrition. And the biggest thing here that I want to touch is that healthy mamas equals healthy babies. So as much as you are fueling yourself before pregnancy, even before pregnancy can affect fertility, during pregnancy will affect growth, hormones, all of that aids in the growth and the hormones of your baby, which will also help. Proper nutrition will also help with recovery after baby is born. So healthy mamas equals healthy babies. And with that, there's a popular adage that when you become pregnant, they say, oh, you're eating for two now, as if it's an excuse to eat everything you want, like you're really eating for two adult people. But the reality is your body is so wonderfully made that in your first trimester, you don't need any additional calories. Your body is just creating that baby on its own, and it's awesome. Like that first trimester, and fancy this, the first trimester is when women are the most nauseated and can hardly eat. Well, that's because your body doesn't need extra calories. Then in your second trimester, when your body does need a little bit additional calories, that's when you start getting your energy spike. Usually, there are some pregnancies that they may be nauseated throughout, but typically in that second trimester, you get a spike of energy, and you only actually need about 300 to 350 calories in that second trimester, which is like a handful of nuts. That's all it is. And then in your third trimester, you need about 400 to 500 extra calories. And that's like eating a big apple with 2 tablespoons of almond butter. So it's really not a significant amount of extra calories you are needing during pregnancy for that second and third trimester. Now, postpartum, this is where things get really hard for women. They want to drop the weight immediately, and they think not eating will do that. Or they think breastfeeding is what will help them drop the weight. Some women's bodies, yes, it does burn a lot of calories when you breastfeed, and it does help release some of that weight. But you also have to fuel your body properly. If you are breastfeeding or you intend to breastfeed, every time you feed, every time your baby nurses, you need to try to be eating a snack. And I know that sounds like the doctor telling you that, and that this is so unrealistic, but you really need to be fueling your body, because if you are living in a calorie deficit postpartum, chances of you being able to lose some of that weight is going to significantly decline, because your body is not getting the proper nutrients it needs. So it's going to go into a fight or flight mode, and it's going to keep a hold of all of that extra weight you had during pregnancy so that you can supply the nutrients you need to your baby. Your body is going into fight or flight mode for your baby's sake, because you're not getting the nutrients you need. So if you are breastfeeding, try to eat a snack. When I was breastfeeding my son, even in the middle of the night, I would leave snacks by the chair, and I would eat like a mini Kind bar or like a go-go squeeze that had vegetables in it, because I was trying to get my veggies in. But try and eat postpartum. Don't deplete your body of nutrients. Don't think that dieting immediately postpartum is going to help you lose that weight. It's really not. And you have to get in hormonally a better headspace before you can start making and start dieting. And I don't even suggest dieting, but before you can start thinking in that way, because there's so many hormones going on. But going back to pregnancy too, you may have aversions or you may have cravings. I had absurd aversions, vegetables and meat. I was like, no game. And I love meat and I love vegetables, but it made me sick to eat a vegetable. Like kale, I could have thrown up at the sight of kale, or even someone talking about kale, or broccoli. And with that, something I wish I had had, and something that I recommend to all of my clients, my prenatal, my postpartum, any of my clients, is Juice Plus. Because with Juice Plus, during my pregnancy, I could have known that I wasn't using Juice Plus then, but I could have known that I was getting the fruits and vegetables that I needed. Sorry, there was an ambulance outside my window. I could have known that I was getting the fruits and vegetables I needed every single day. So if I didn't eat that broccoli that I was so disgusted at, I would have been okay. My baby would have been okay. But instead, I was having to force myself to eat certain things and certain nutrients. And with that being said, I'm going to transition to Whitney here to talk more about Juice Plus and the benefits of it during pregnancy. But it really is something that I use for all of my clients. I use it with my family. And I think it's also important for recovery to have the nutrients you need. Nutrients are so important before you conceive, during your pregnancy, and even postpartum. So with that, I ran a little bit over time, but I wanted to give y'all all the information you needed. Please walk away encouraged and know that in that PDF, I will give you all the resources, and y'all are doing awesome. Whether you are a mom or you are here listening on behalf of somebody else, you are amazing. And the fact that your body is making a human being, or somebody else's body is making a human being, is a miracle in and of itself. And the Lord made you so unique. So I hope you remember that.
Thank you, Shayla. I am saving all of these email addresses as we speak, so we will send that out to you guys. Thank you, Shayla, for sharing. And everything that you said resonates with me, having been pregnant. I've been pregnant 6 times. 2 of our babies are in heaven, but then having delivered 4, pregnancy is honestly like one of the hardest things that I've ever done. It's hard work. Pregnancy itself was not easy on my body. And then even postpartum, as you're raising your kids and feeding them well in those early months I was able to breastfeed all 4 of mine. It's hard work. So I just encourage you to give yourself grace. And we're going to talk now just more about how to fuel your body as maybe a woman who wants to conceive one day, or maybe you're pregnant right now, or maybe you've had babies. I will tell you, every time I had a baby around 15 months, I was getting pregnant again. So I really didn't have that much time in between my pregnancies. And people always said, when you get like 3 years out from having a baby, you're going to feel amazing. And that's where I am now. And it's just a reminder to me of how much I want to serve young moms, because it really is, it's a beautiful season. It's so precious, but it is a hard season. So give yourself grace. And I'm going to share with you guys some things tonight that I learned halfway through my pregnancy journey that I wish I had known sooner. So I hope that it'll encourage y'all. I'm going to open up PowerPoint that I have here. And let me get this going for y'all. Let's see. Okay. So like Shayla said, she recommends Juice Plus to her clients that she works with. And I'm just going to start and just share with you guys, because the person who invited you is affiliated with the Juice Plus company. And our mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. So this is just one of the many, many ways that we get to do that. And like I said, pregnancy is very close to my heart, and babies and toddlers and kids. So I am excited that I just get to share our journey with you guys. And I'm going to start by sharing some statistics with you. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease in our country. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes by 2050. 1 in 5 children is obese. Our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. So as a mom, when I see these statistics, they're very alarming to me. And I know that heart disease runs in our family. I know cancer, diabetes. And, you know, when I think of our parents, our grandparents, I see that these statistics come to life. And so as a mom, I want to do everything I can to change that pattern for my children and for the generations to come. And so that is the reason that I'm on a mission to encourage other families as well. And so when we think about why is there this rise of a decline in health, there are really two contributing factors. The first is that environmental toxins are increasing. And a lot of these toxins we do have control over, but unfortunately, a lot we do not have control over. So for example, if you think about the pollution in our world, the water contaminants, so the water that you're drinking, you and your family are drinking, the pesticides and herbicides that are put on the food that you consume. If you also think about the chemicals you use on your skin, your hair, and what you clean your home with, and even the products that you drink and eat your food out of. There's a lot of toxins that we are bombarded with every single day. The second aspect would be that our food quality is decreasing. So more than 50% of what Americans eat is processed. Unfortunately, I think one of the reasons is we're just such a fast-paced society. So we're always looking for what's convenient and easy. And what's thrown at us is prepackaged foods that are filled with preservatives, lots of flavor enhancers, artificial colors. A lot of the food is genetically modified. And even in our meats that we're eating, they're pumped full of growth hormones. And all of that alters our health, but specifically for women, it can alter our hormones, which affects everything in our body and how our system runs. So that is something that we just need to be aware of. And even the fruits and vegetables that we do get from the grocery store, a lot of times they have lost 50 to 80% of the nutrients before we even purchase it. So if you think about when you go and buy your bananas, for example, a lot of times we grab our bananas when they're still green. They're not even ripe. And they've traveled hundreds of miles, maybe even more, to our grocery store. So just like when we are carrying a baby, we want that baby to go full term. Just like our fruits and vegetables, we want that fruit and that vegetable to be packed with the fullest nutrition possible. And when it's picked before it's ripe, we're losing some of that awesome nutrition. So these are the two things. Toxins are going up, our food quality is going down. And those are the leading causes to the rise of disease and disorders in our country and in our world. I want to share with you a little bit about oxidative stress. So if you look at this apple, you'll see, if you slice an apple and it's exposed to the air, it's going to change colors. So just like in our body, every single day, you are bombarded with stressors, whether it's emotional stress, whether it's mental stress, even just breathing in your oxygen in and out produces stress on your cells. Exercising can be stress, and pregnancy is extremely stressful on our body. And so when we have stress on our cells, that can cause aging and disease. But this apple is an illustration of oxidative stress. So if you look on the right side, you'll see that there's no discoloration. And the reason is because a lemon was put on that side. It was squirted on that side and it protected it. So it didn't get discolored. In the same way, antioxidants protect our cells from disease, and the oxidative stress causes the disease, but antioxidants can protect us from that. And fruits and vegetables are the #1 source for antioxidants. So that's why we want to be fueling our bodies flooding our bodies with fruits and vegetables every single day to protect our cells. And we all need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables. So if you hold up your fist, this is a serving. So a standard human being needs 7 to 13 servings every single day. People who are exercising a lot, athletes, but especially even pregnant and breastfeeding women, we need even more than those 13 servings every day. Our body is under stress, so we need to be flooding it with as many colors as we can each and every day. And unfortunately, 90% of Americans do not eat enough servings. And so again, this is what leads to us not feeling well, not functioning at our, best level, and then sickness and disease are more likely to creep in. So I want to share with you a little bit about vitamins. On the left, you're going to see a supplement label. And I grew up taking traditional vitamins, and that's what I gave my kids for the first 4 years of being a mom. And unfortunately, so 6 years ago, I had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and our family was very susceptible to illness. So I found myself giving my husband and both of my kids seasonal allergy medicine. My son struggled with severe eczema, so he was on steroid creams, and he struggled with asthma, so he was on a daily breathing treatment. And so I began to go on a search to figure out what I could do to change in order to help our family. And I knew whole foods were important. And I knew we were doing our very best to eat the variety that we needed. But it is very challenging to get the quantity we need. So when a friend shared with me about Juice Plus, and I started taking a look, it really made sense because phytonutrients is what our body needs. Phytonutrients is a big word for plant nutrition. So if you look on the right, these are the thousands of phytonutrients that are in one apple. When our body eats fruits and vegetables, it recognizes it and it's absorbed into our bloodstream. And all of these phytonutrients work synergistically in our body. Just like if you think of an orchestra or a symphony, how all the instruments work together, that's what fruits and vegetables do in our body. Unfortunately, when we take a synthetic vitamin, it's isolated vitamins and they've just been extracted, and a lot of times they just come out in our urine. Our body does not recognize them. So that's why if you take a lot of vitamins and then you see that your urine is bright yellow, more than likely it's just gone right out of your body. Whereas if you eat apples and broccoli and all of that good stuff, your body's going to absorb it. So when our family began using Juice Plus, I began to see the results firsthand of what flooding your body with more plants can do. So what is Juice Plus? It is vine ripened, and it is vine ripened fruits, vegetables, and berries that are picked when they're ripe. They're pulverized, so the entire apple, the flesh, the core, the skin, everything is pulverized, put at low temperature so all the nutrition is preserved, and it's put into capsules or gummies. And we also have an amazing omega blend, and it is in capsules as well. So look at this picture and think about, what did you eat today? What was your variety? What is your variety in a typical week? Or, and even in a typical month? For our family, we did our best to get a variety, but it was not nearly this much in a day. And so that's what Juice Plus is. It just bridges the gaps. We do our best. This bridges the gaps at the cellular level. And these are the omegas that I was talking about. So our omegas are plant-based. We skip over the fish. Most people are familiar with fish oil. We go straight to the plant source, and it's full spectrum. So it's omega 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9. And omegas are amazing and awesome and essential for our brain and health and our heart health, our circulatory system, as well as skin and eyes and hair, but very important for the development of a baby's brain, as well as for a mom who is pregnant. A lot of women are deficient in omega-3, and that affects your mood, depression, all of that. So we see a lot of women that see great benefits when they add in their omegas with their anxiety and their depression, and even children who have diagnoses such as ADD, ADHD, even autism, because it's so good for your brain health. The complete shakes are my favorite meal every single day. These are plant-based protein and fiber, and it is non-GMO, it's gluten-free and dairy-free, it's low glycemic. So we have a lot of clinicians, doctors and nurses that partner with us, and they're able to share these with their patients because it really helps stabilize blood sugar and fuel bodies. This is what I added to my routine about 2.5 years ago. And as a very busy mom to 4 kids, I saw a huge increase in my energy, as well as when I would exercise, my muscle recovery. And so I would say this was a huge catalyst for me as far as something quick and easy I could do every single day to fuel my body well. We make smoothies every day for my kids. We use it to make healthy snacks like energy balls. So this is a huge part of our routine as a family. So like I said, Juice Plus is not a multivitamin, it's food. And that's why when our family added it, within a month, my son's eczema completely cleared up. So I knew this is food and it's really getting into his bloodstream. Within a year, my husband and both of the kids were off all of their allergy meds, and my son no longer needed his asthma treatments. So I saw firsthand what the power of plants can do in a body. It is NSF certified. So if you do use a protein powder, I would encourage you to look on it and make sure that you see that there is an NSF or a third-party validation. This is why we have professional athletes and Olympic athletes that can use our products, because we have a third party that comes in and tests to make sure what's on the bottle is actually in the product. And Juice Plus is the most researched nutritional product in the world. And this really is what set it apart for our family to even take a look at it, because it has clinical research. So double-blind, placebo-controlled, it's tested on humans, peer-reviewed medical journals. So places like Cambridge, Duke, Vanderbilt, MD Anderson, Nemours Children Clinic, they have taken Juice Plus, they've studied it on humans, and they have seen amazing results in all different aspects of the body. So cardiovascular wellness, the inflammatory response in our body. There's 4 studies done on immune health, as well as, like I mentioned before, oxidative stress. So we know that it's absorbed in the body and that it does amazing things to all areas of our body. So I'm going to share with you guys, since we're talking about pregnancy, 3 reasons why I chose Juice Plus during my pregnancy. So like I said, we added it to our family 6 years ago, and I had already had 2 babies, and those babies were struggling with sickness. But we got on track and started using Juice Plus, and I started just seeing those 2 babies get healthier and healthier. So I was so thankful in my 3rd and 4th pregnancy that I had Juice Plus. And so I wanted to share with you why I was excited to add it. Number 1 reason is because our body needs folate when we are pregnant. We need it all the time, but we especially need it when we're pregnant. Folate is naturally occurring in green leafy vegetables, and it's crucial for fetal development. It helps aid in the neural tube development, and it can prevent severe birth defects. And so folic acid is more of a synthetic form that's just in vitamins, and it's not nearly as absorbed in the body. So I know with Juice Plus that we're getting a lot of folate from those green leafy vegetables. Reason number 2 is because of the awesome clinical research that I know shows us that it is delivering all of these nutrients into our bloodstream. That's called bioavailable, and we know that it is. And that it is shown to help with the circulation in our heart and all of our arteries. So we know that it's getting to where the baby is. So my 3rd and 4th babies, I call my Juice Plus babies, because they were getting this in the womb. They were getting this from the very beginning. And so it was already beginning to work in their little bodies. And I know that our research is showing that it can protect our DNA. So even if generations behind us are predisposed to disease or a genetic disorder, we are seeing research that shows that what we fuel our bodies with can turn the bad switches off and turn the good switches on, so that what I fuel my body with as a pregnant mom can help our future generations to stop what was in the past. So that's huge, and that's called epigenetics. Reason number 3, which is really fun, and I'm excited to share with you guys, Dr. Odom is an OBGYN in Jackson, Mississippi. He has been practicing since 1970. And in 2000, so 20 years ago, Juice Plus has been around 25 years. So 20 years ago, he was curious to see with his patients what he knew nutrition was important, but he was curious to see what was the difference between the women who used Juice Plus and the women who did not. So he gathered 178 women and he gave them a prenatal vitamin and Juice Plus. That's what I took in my third and fourth pregnancies. I went ahead and took my prenatal vitamin and I took Juice Plus. Then he had another set of 178 women and they only took a prenatal vitamin. Okay, so he followed those women, over 350 women, through their pregnancy into delivery, and these were the results. And he really made sure in those groups that they were reflecting the same age, ethnicity, prior pregnancies, and even their insurance coverage. So it was a very good test for him to see. And you can see the results. The C-section deliveries were much less. There were no deliveries with the Juice Plus babies prior to 37 weeks. No prior to 32 weeks. Preeclampsia, there were none reported with the Juice Plus babies. Obviously, the bigger babies were the ones that were taking Juice Plus. And then there were no babies that were in the NICU or had respiratory distress. So this is, and it was actually in 2006, it was put into the Journal of American Nutraceutical Association. So that's why I was so excited to get to use Juice Plus. And so here I am, I was pregnant, my third and fourth pregnancies. And something that's also cool is my first and second, I was very deficient in vitamin D and iron. So I was having to use a lot of supplements. But when I was taking Juice Plus, I was not deficient. So my iron levels were awesome. My vitamin D was great. So I got to see that firsthand. And these are my Juice Plus babies, Tucker and Charlotte. They are now 5 and 3, and they have been in preschool now for the last couple years. And it's been such a blessing to see their first few years and how well they've done. They have never missed a sick day in preschool, which if you are a mom of young kids, you know that's a huge blessing. And I'm just so thankful that I know I'm giving them the best that I can from the start. So you may be asking, okay, so how much is Juice Plus? To me, the price is the best part. For $2.50 a day, I can give myself 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries, and I can give a child for free. So with our program, we get to sponsor a free child with every adult portion, which is a huge blessing and helps our family. My favorite meal of the day is $2.33, which is much, much less than grabbing a Starbucks on the road. And the awesome omegas that I talked about are only $1 a day. So to me, the price is the best part. So as we're closing out, I just want to give you guys 3 different, options, and you can think about what would best suit you. The first would be if you want to add Juice Plus to your routine. We would love to talk with you. So just talk with the person who invited you, and we can figure out which product will best suit your needs. The second would be that maybe as we're talking, you're thinking about friends or family that you know would benefit from this as well. So I would encourage you to consider becoming a partner. It's just $52 a year, and then you can get your product for the best price, as well as share with a few friends or family members. The third option would be what I chose to do a little over 2 years ago, and that was to become a partner. It's $52 a year. And then I just wanted to share this with everyone I knew, because again, we had taken it for over 3 years, and I was already sharing with people that I knew, but I would just send them to other reps, and I never even considered it until I realized after our 4th baby that families become very expensive, and I wanted to be able to stay home with my kids. That was my heart's desire. And when I realized it was just $52 a year, I said, well, I need to just do this and be a resource to others. So that's what I chose to do, and it has been the biggest blessing for our family. I've been able to now help hundreds of families get healthier, and I've been able to be home with my kiddos and build an income from home that has given our family options. We no longer are living paycheck to paycheck, but we're able to save and plan for the future. And the community of men and women that God has allowed me to be able to touch has just been the biggest blessing. And we are always looking for more partners to join us. And so maybe tonight, as you're listening, you know that you want to get started with Juice Plus, and you want to give that to yourself as a mom, or to your kiddos, and we would love to help you do that. Or maybe you have a financial need, and we would love to talk with you about how you could partner with us and how this could be a blessing for not only your family, but to help others and to share this gift with so many others. So we would love to follow up with you. And I just want to stop right here and just thank you guys for listening.
Were there any questions in the chat?
Yeah, I will look and see. I saw you say that. I think so far I see a lot of emails, so we can send people emails. I don't see any questions. But if any of you guys do have questions, feel free. Yeah, I don't see any questions yet. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the person who invited you, because we would love to answer those for you.
And hopefully the PDF will help with like any resource for fitness or the core belly breathing and those things. Again, it'll be an overview, but it'll be.
And Shayla, if you send out the email, then if there are questions, they can ask you as well.
Yes, yes.
So we'll be on that email.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yay. All right. Well, I'm going to stop this recording.